As the Nigerian aviation industry in Nigeria continues to evolve, the focus on safety remains paramount, with stakeholders emphasizing the need for robust safety management systems, infrastructure upgrades, and human capital development. Recall that the Minister of Aviation, Mr. Festus Keyamo, ordered the NCAA to suspend Dana Airline's operations in the country over safety concerns as one of the aircraft skidded off the runway in Lagos earlier in the week. According to experts, the sector's growth potential, coupled with ongoing safety issues and regulatory reforms, require deeper attention. Let's get talking. I'm being joined by an aviation analyst who's also the General Secretary of the Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative, Mr. Olumide Onwayo. Thank you so much. It's really good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
I think I should start with the Dana incident because it's really not too interesting to talk about this. But we saw what happened and the move by the minister. I've seen the press release from your association, but basically, what will be your reaction to this, and what do you think about our safety standards in the aviation industry?
Well, let me start with our safety standards. We have no reason to fear. We have just passed the ICAO safety audit, which alone shows that we have still kept the standard. We have continued to maintain a Category 1 certification from the Federal Airport Authority of the US. That's no mean feat. There are so many countries that do not have that certification within Africa. There are so many there are countries around South America that are unable to have not been able to make that level of certification, but we have it. Even some countries in Asia, and we have retained it. And we come to the country inspect and retain it, and we've done everything to retain it. So I have no doubt that our safety standard has remained high, and because we've had a regulator that's been able to work within the framework of resources, training, and personnel available to it. What we do not have is enough funds to attract big funds to expand our airlines, to build mega carriers. And that is the next stage. And I think that should be our priority. But in doing that, what you have just said, I think the reaction of the minister first directing the NCAA was knee-jerk, the minister was just being an interloper. That should have been his responsibility. His responsibility should be the policy control direction of the government with respect to the aviation industry. And on issue of safety, the regulator must be seen as autonomous and in control. It's just like I know most passengers do not understand that. All they want to hear is no, there's safety issues, and the minister was right. No, it's just like let me break to the sports part. It's just like the government cannot interfere with the decisions taken by the NFF and you'll be sanctioned. That's what we are looking at here with ICAO. That even if we have issues, even if the minister was doubting some procedures, there are too many channels that we could have used to discuss with the NCAA management. Rather than write a letter only, post the letter information on the Twitter handle for the world to see that the government and the executive is in control of the NCAA, who's supposed to be an autonomous body handling safety issues.
This is very important because I will tell you that the minister was on a program late yesterday, and he talked about corruption among the regulators. This is something that is very important. I don't think we should play with lives in such a manner. He talked about deep complicity in the aviation sector. That's according to what the minister said yesterday. How would you react to this?
Apart from having a knee-jerk reaction to the incident that happened with Dana Air,
yes,
I heard him. He said that on another channel yesterday, and I wonder who should deal with corruption in the industry, if not the minister himself. He came in August, and by December he removed everybody, all the agency heads, all the directors, and installed his own persons. So if you're saying there was corruption before and there's corruption now, there's something wrong with the team you've appointed. And he would have dealt with the team that he appointed rather than break procedure operate the processes or certain processes. I thought you would have handled the people if you did not trust them. If you don't trust the people you have appointed, the people you have asked to do some responsibility, then you change them. You were the one you have the power to hire and fire, so you have done that. And I'm bringing a procedure, breaking this procedure is ridiculous in the international aviation space. It's ridiculous. Processes and systems that we should cherish and have put in place. So if you have corrupt processes, if you have corrupt personnel, then deal with this personnel. You have the power. You are appointed everybody. You remove so the complexity. That how would you come and take everybody? But you wanted to work with a team that you believed in. And barely 3 months or 4 months down the line, you are beginning to accuse them of corruption, and you're not dealing with it. Rather than dealing with it, you're rather subjecting the safety process and procedure and making us the aviation space.
Just recently, we saw Airpeace fly to London, and of course, this has also generated comments around that industry, well, positive and negative. I'd like to also have your views, and considering even the challenges faced by these aircraft. I think for the first time, first few flights, the Gatwick Airport, many talked about some challenges. What is really your reaction to this development, and what do you think can other guys also get into to make this more flexible and easier for Airpeace?
Yeah, but the challenges Airpeace faced on the London route before joining and now are challenges that are expected, and these challenges would only be minimized if Airpeace is able to show some consistency, keep its schedule integrity intact, and have the continuous support of government. It must be seen as a carrier flying on behalf of Nigeria rather than a carrier owned by one person. Because when we must have that mentality that once you have an airline to leave Nigerian airspace to go to London, it cannot go on its own. It must be designated by the government. And once it's designated, it becomes your flag carrier on that route. On that route that you're designated to be. And once you become the flag carrier, you must call the parties of government when it comes to international business behind it. And here I mean the Minister of Aviation, the Minister of External Affairs, the Minister of Justice, all these ministries must come together and support Airpeace all through this period. And if I tell you that challenges and they need this ministry to help in support, then they must help in support. We must also be ready to bring out that stick, that responsibility stick, whether it's a good stick or a bad stick. Now, one of them is you are asking Airpeace to deposit £3 million for security at Gatwick Airport. And this £3 million will be with Gatwick until when Airpeace stops operating. So if Airpeace is operating for 100 years, will they keep the £3 million? But if that's going to be, if that policy and position is going to remain, then I will also advise that the Federal Airport Authority asks British Airways to pay £3 million in Lagos Airport and British Airways to pay £3 million for Abuja Airport. So what is good for the goose should also be good for the British carriers. So we must be able to protect. We cannot leave Airpeace alone. There must be great efforts. So things will come up. The fairs, competition. The only way you can survive is to ensure you begin to get renovation. The services that they are providing. So they can sure to have passengers that want to fly with them.
Well, it's getting more interesting. Let me now ask you that at the Aviation Safety Roundtable initiative, what are you doing to address some of these issues? Are you making your position known? What sort of cooperation are you receiving from the new minister?
Well, for us, we are on the second office. We have written him, welcoming to the industry, and we have appointed some of his appointment, and we have made efforts and made comments on issues in the industry. So much as we have a press release on the recent happening with Dana, which will not support the decision, and we expect, and like we said, we asked him to make an apology to the industry in general, and also restore the license of Dana Airlines. If that decision had come from after investigation of but the directive from the minister has made no sense of the letter emanating from the NCAA. Because now we are not sure that the NCAA was supposed to be is now being directed by the ministry, and that is not fair. And that's what I've made known to the minister that we are not in support of that. Now we rather want to see an independent NCAA, and with an independent NCAA, we do not mind any sanction being meted out to any airline that's in violation of safety processes and procedures.
What's your view with regards to still owning a national carrier at this time, despite what we've seen in efforts trying to do that in last administration? Would you still say it's the way to go? Will it affect local operators in the industry if that happens?
Anyway, we have signed a dual designation on the London route. And that dual designation means we need airlines to be on that route. Today we have only Air Peace. There's a need for a second airline to join to use the bilateral services agreement. There are still also many routes that are not being operated at the moment. So if it's a national carrier that will come in and be the second carrier, so be it. But then and I think it's preferable to look inwards to see if we can strengthen our airlines. Because when we strengthen our airlines, a second airline can come out and these airlines are ready to open their books. Then you expect to see from some investors, airlines willing to come up and partner with them. And in doing that, you might probably not need a national carrier again. We now have homegrown carriers who are now operate on the international. You see, if a country like Indonesia would attract about $1 billion investment to its airline industry, when it was not even a category 1, then what has happened with us with that category 1? We're not able to attract investors. So we should look at that area. Can attract investors. We might probably not need a national carrier again. And I will just support the airlines that are in place, and that will all be for Nigeria.
Looks very, very, very interesting here now. So if we are to wrap up with looking at the outlook, prices are also supposed to come down. Aviation fuel is now being sold by Dangote refinery at a reasonable rate. I think it's even trying to subsidize it to a level. Do you think that this would help? And of course, the respite of a little bit of positives around the FX market. Do you think all of this would help shaping up the aviation industry moving forward in 2024?
Yeah. It was not only the introduction of Air Peace on the London route that brought the cheaper flight. I also want to tell you that the stability of the naira to the dollar was also contributory to the fares that dropping on that route. And if that boat is able to supply aviation fuel, you remember it's a deregulated market for aviation fuel, almost all of them now. And if they could bring the price down for diesel, I think the aviation industry should also benefit from that drop in the price of the Jet A1. And with that, passengers will continue to smile, because as the fuel price drops, now becomes stable, so also will the fare drops, and we have more passengers. So the more the merrier, and now I'm advocate of lower fares. Because when you have lower fares, you have more people traveling. And when you have more people traveling, the multiplier effect is far more better for the airline and the economy than having a few people flying with high fares.
It's really an interesting time for Nigeria and, of course, international aviation industry looking at this. What about the issues around cargoes? We see states wanting to get interested in that, maybe movement of goods and services. Do you also think that's the step to take at this time in Nigeria?
Well, due to the insecurity and the high cost of traveling, most people would rather want to move their goods and services rather than travel now. And we have seen that increase in road transport. But for air transport, we are yet to have that impact on the domestic front. And it's an area we need to look at. Yes, we have the states are opening up airports. There's cargo airports. One of them is the one just beside us here, the State Airport in Elisha. And then they're opening these airports. We expect that you just don't leave the airport, you just open an airport. You also have some plans to ensure that cargo flights, cargo services, and then the infrastructure for keeping goods at the airport are all in place. Nigeria State government just invited the president to come and inaugurate the part of the cargo terminal at the Mina Airport. And I expect that with all these, the states are now beginning to see that they can do some things with the products in their state, and these products can also move faster and be more economical for the state if it can include air transport. And that's what they are working on, to have more cargo airports, to have more cargo facilities in the airport. But you see, the states cannot work in isolation. They need to work with the federal government, the federal airports. They need to work with the airlines. They need to make the facility available and not at an expensive rate, and that will engender more users to the airport. And with that, we can develop at the cargo side of the business. But as of today, we are still struggling to get the cargo business right in the industry.
It's a good way to leave it. I must thank you so much for your time. We appreciate this. Aviation Analyst, General Secretary, Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative, Solomide Onwayo. Do have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.